especially after COVID, the
Yeah.
whole technology, arena in the government changed. Government was never used to working virtually. Never. They didn't know what virtually work meant. They used to have an office. They used to have people coming in, doing their work and leaving at 5 or after 5. When COVID hit, completely changed the entire thought process, the mindset.
Hey guys, and welcome to the Grow IT podcast. One of your hosts here, Trey King. And today we are very excited to have our guest, Nazeera from Vendorship. And we'll be diving into her story a little bit today, as well as, what it is her company does. And then, as always, some good insights into the technology industry. So make sure to stick around for this one. But without further ado, Nazeera, welcome.
Thank you so much, Trey. Thank you for having me, and thank you for your listeners as well going to listen to our podcast.
Yes, we're happy. We're happy you jumped on today. Nazeera, if we can kick things off, if you could, kindly just introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your background or just a snippet or two of your story.
Sure. Thank you, Trek, again. So, usually when I tell my background, people raise their eyebrows because right now I'm an entrepreneur. I run a company called Vendorship. I'm the CEO and founder of the company. But I used to practice medicine in India. So I
Oh wow,
was,
that's
yeah.
I'm the one now raising my
I
eyebrow.
see.
Hey Nazeera, it's there, right?
Yeah. So I used to actually deliver babies and I used to be, practicing OBGYN in India. And after I
Oh
came to
wow.
US, clinical practice was not motivating as much for me. So I did my master's in public health and went into community
Right.
medicine and then joined university for research based projects. And then my dream job after that was at the county government. I was at
Yeah.
the health department and then in the political arena, looking at proposals that contractors or vendors would send and the entire procurement process. And
Yeah.
so I saw a lot of gaps there. At Tracker, I can give you one certain story that many of people who know me
Yes.
already know about this story. So
Please share.
when we put a proposal out, when the
Yeah.
government puts a proposal out looking for vendors and contractors to fill that job skill or the project, um,
Mm.
we expect it to be done, right? So, and it's not easy to put the proposal out, a lot of scope of work from the
Yeah.
department, from the government procurement side, from the finance, from the IT side. They all put the proposals together and then we put it out in the market. And when I put this specific proposal out, just for a change in a technology app, we wanted to add an app to our website for diabetic
Yes.
patients. So they will get reminders about their appointments. And it was almost $200,000 budget project, which the government usually doesn't tell you the budget upfront at all. So
Yes. Of
I
course.
expected we're going to get great contractors. We're going to hit this project well, and great things are going to happen. And only two people responded to that proposal.
What?
One responded 2 minutes late, so his proposal wasn't
So it's
accepted.
thrown out, right?
So now the other proposal didn't meet the mandatory criteria and he still responded, so which was thrown out again. So ultimately we ended up with zero proposals. That really infuriated me. I was very furious because all the time spent by my team to put that scope of work together with the procurement department, putting it out in
Mm.
the market. And then ultimately we didn't have solutions, right?
Yeah.
And so, and ultimately waste of taxpayers' money because this is government, paid by taxpayers. So then I called a few companies around and asked why didn't they respond? It was right in their backyard. So the response was, we don't know how to do. We don't believe the government. It's going to be a slow process. It's very complicated. So everything, the reasons that we're giving, I felt was a myth,
Mm,
right?
mm, mm.
And so I said, that's a piece of cake. That's not true. That's not true. So when I left the government after like 2 years after that, I
Yes.
said, this is the gap I see that people just don't know how to navigate the government system. And if you see the US government is $700 billion per year industry.
Our word.
and it is open world for worldwide contractors as well that people don't know. And so that's when I said, we want to assist people, bring in
Yes.
that equity so everybody knows how to navigate the government and get the money and provide the service that the government needs. Ultimately, if you see our fire department, police department, sheriff's department, anything that government does serve the residents and the community citizens, right? So if you have a good technology firm doing the good work,
Yes.
ultimately the residents are the one benefiting. So that's when vendorship was formed to guide and help navigate firms, doesn't matter technology or non-technology, take up their paperwork, 80% of their burden, and help them get secure contracts in the government.
My word, what a colorful story. You've got an amazing background going from the North Pole to the South Pole, North Pole. It's quite fascinating to me. Tell me,
Thank you, Trick.
based on your expertise, right? Because obviously you've been doing this for quite some time. What are the current market trends that you'd say, right, that you're aware of these days? You know, um, like where's the wind blowing?
Mhm. Great question, Treg. So I would say, especially after COVID, the
Yeah.
whole technology, arena in the government changed. Government was never used to working virtually. Never. They didn't know what virtually work meant.
Mm,
They used to have an office. They used to have people coming in, doing their work and leaving at 5 or after 5.
yeah.
So the COVID, when COVID hit, completely changed the entire thought process, the mindset. So the more technology firms. In fact, vendorship now we are in our seventh year, and we grew 200% during COVID times because the
Wow.
governments started needing more tech capabilities. They started looking at trends. They started, how can we go automations, right? How do we not do manually? What happens
Yeah.
when someone's not present physically? How do we still offer this service to citizens and residents? So again, when I talk about government, it is not just the federal government, it is the state, county, city, university. So
Um,
almost like 300,000 departments and divisions across
yes. I mean,
US.
that's quite a complicated setup.
Yeah, a huge, I would call it a huge monster to tackle. It's just that if people knew exactly what they're focused on and they help knew how to navigate. But the technology trends that we see very much from last 2 years are digital transformation, cloud computing. We see a lot of cybersecurity scope of work that is
Yeah.
needed. Data management, data analytics, and you'd be surprised we are seeing a lot of AI, right? So these are the trends.
I
But
actually, I just wanted to ask you, is there AI? Do governments adopt AI, machine learning and things like that? Are they actually starting to do that now?
absolutely. And it
Oh
was a
wow.
shocker for me as well because I thought they would still be lagging behind. Because when
Yeah, me too.
Salesforce came into effect 20, 30 years ago, only now the city governments are accepting the CRM, such as Salesforce, right? But AI is being just adapted, might be not implemented fully, but people are the procurement officials, the IT tech CIOs and all that are starting to think, oh, of course we want to know, we don't want to be left behind. So I think after
Yes.
COVID, a lot of mindsets changed and new thought process leaders started coming up. Those who just continue with their old mindset are going to be left behind. Just as
Yeah,
we see in many other technology firms that they don't adapt to the new ones, they are
to
left
the new
behind.
ones.
Yeah.
The and maybe then in a certain way, COVID was assisting that side of business, right? To hurry up this new way of thinking. Because I've been actually working with one of our clients on our end, with their clients, when it came to like discovery meetings and things like that. And let me tell you, it was a lot of, because a lot of still these government entities still work from their own legacy systems, but you're quite right that there was a couple of guys very much interested in what AI can bring to the table, especially from a customer journey, customer experience point of view.
Mhm.
That's where well, I picked it up rather, from my end now. But yeah, so I fully agree with you. Tell me, Nazira, what would you say is the current market sentiment like in your space?
So the current, so actually because of the recent administration change that's going to happen from
Yeah,
January, there
yeah,
is fear. There's this unknown fear of
mhm,
what's going to happen. But I keep telling all the technology firms, I think what they should see is optimism, positivity. That they're all about automation, moving away from inefficiencies such as legacy, the old legacy model systems, and all that, and
yeah,
more of automation, more of cybersecurity, continuing to transform digitally, and so less manual, computation, but more computer related
yes,
technology being implemented. So and especially even of the staffing companies. So if there are going to be inefficiencies in staffing that are currently placed even in the federal government, if they're going to be not working there anymore, they would need more technology, savvy workers to join the
yes.
government in some way or the other. I don't, for technology firms, I see a huge, good prospect and trends in the government sector, at least in the US, even with the new administration that's going to be in place from January.
You definitely share the opinion of some of our clients as well. Cautiously optimistic. Whereas and personally, I think 2025. I think it's going to be a good one for our industry. Having said that, I mean, because the last 2 years weren't good, right? So maybe we needed something fresh like the administration, changing. But I do think that it's going to pick up. Uh, Something as zero from a value point of view, right? What would you say is the most significant value what your company does? If you don't mind, maybe to color that in with maybe one of the clients that you've assisted, just that our listeners can understand your business a bit better.
Sure, yeah, definitely. So I think what if you read our motto, that means which says we make government contracting easy, and that's what we do. What we continue to see is firms that take up government contracting themselves without the right resources,
Mm,
usually try to fly without walking and crawling, and they tend to fall hard down, right? And we see this continuously because their foundation is not strong. Your house is going to be wobbly if your foundation is not strong. So, what
yeah,
vendorship brings to the table and adds value is making the foundation strong, right? And what does that mean? That means having the documentation in place, understanding some of the do's and don'ts, understanding what is an RFP, how to read an RFP, what a successful response looks like. So we train them, we coach them, they become the firm's extended team, right? So we don't work as vendorship working with the government. We partner with the client and become their extended team. We communicate to the government on behalf
mm,
of
mm,
them. Especially, let's say, certifications. People have a hard time securing GSA, which is a certification schedule in the federal government, or even minority owned certification, women owned. It They take their time, precious time, away in understanding these documentation while they should be working on their coding, their
yeah.
technology as
The
service,
tech
right?
side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is where we come and take off that 80% of the burden from them and bring the right opportunities to them, help them subcontract, help them with partnering agreements, and then respond to those submissions and help them
Yes.
through the follow up on how they did with their submissions. So we feel we see other competitors, but we see them offering a piece of the pie. Either the competitors only offering a certification, or they're only in the federal arena, or
Yes.
they're only offering proposal writing. We
Yes.
do all in one. So we are a one-stop shop providing end-to-end solutions if anybody has thoughts to get into government contracting. And if a firm has a service to offer that government needs, that means you can imagine there is opportunities, tons of
Yes.
opportunities for those firms, because I just mentioned government is $700 billion industry per year. And no, we're not just talking about federal, we're talking about county, city, universities, and schools. If you see, schools itself is 100,000 schools, right? And states are 50 states. So counties are like almost 5,000 and 20,000, 30,000 cities. So all these add up. Each is an independent entity with independent budget, with governance. They put their own
Own
things.
rules and
They're all,
regulations
yeah,
and protocol, right? Yeah.
yeah,
The
exactly.
the I fully understand the value now. I get it. Penny has dropped. I think there's a couple of people making a lot of notes right now. There's so a lot of our clients that obviously wanting to opt in with government work, but and I won't say that I think they're afraid. I just think they think in their minds it's maybe a bit too tedious. And scared of making that mistakes that it's been thrown out, like you mentioned, earlier. But definitely, there's well, to what I've picked up, there's a big need for the services and value you guys bring. Nazeera, I would like to ask your opinion if we can maybe look at business in general. Right now, I mean, we spoke about that colorful background of yours, right? The eyebrow one. Um, and you've seen a lot of industry, you've started a lot of things, as a founder of a company. In your opinion, what type of mindset would you say, right, is needed to be like really successful as a founder, as a business, founder of a business?
Wow. Treg, you hit the nail on the head because this is something that I bring up when we speak to clients, potential
Yeah,
clients. And we've served more than, let's say, 125 clients in the last 7 years. And what I have seen,
sure.
the traits that successful companies or clients have had winning government contracting is not
Yeah,
what the content they bring or not what the product they bring. It is their leadership and the vision, because they have to wear a government hat to get into government sector. They cannot come with the commercial uh, contract
yeah,
thinking that if I go for coffee, I'm going to get this contract. Or
got
if I
it.
just shake hands or I take a picture with
Yeah,
him or I give him, or I
yeah,
give him some extra snippets and then we're going to sign a contract. No, government is a very transparent arena,
and
where
just
people have,
disciplined.
yeah, discipline, several myths out there that we love to bust those myths every time. So it is not just going to happen over a cup of coffee. It's okay to
Yes.
build relationship, but then you understanding that you're heading into the government sector for long term and not just step and say, I want to test the waters, then that's not a right mindset to get into government
Mm,
contracting.
mm.
One more thing
Either
I
you, either
wanted to
you,
add.
you out.
One more thing I
Yeah,
wanted to add earlier was, Trek, that
yeah.
people coming from commercial contracting needs to know that government contracting is always going to be sustainable, because government is not going to say one fine day and say, Nazeera, we don't need your taxes this year.
You definitely not. Yeah.
So it's going to be a sustainable model. It's just that people have to understand that this is the right for me. I have an service to offer to the government, and I want to take that path and build the foundation strong.
And then, for the younger generation out there, when it comes to things that you've learned, over the course of your career, is there maybe one or two things that you don't mind sharing?
Yes,
Of things that you've learned?
I love doing that, Trek. First of
Excellent.
all, I was trained to be a doctor, right?
Mm.
And told that obviously, understood that that's all is my life. My career path is practicing, but
Yes.
I had to pave my own path because I wasn't motivated to practice medicine in US for various
Mm.
reasons. But I paved the path that it's okay. If I'm not there, I found out my ultimate, inspiration is educating and training others to be
Mm.
empowered. So I do that in different ways. Now I'm doing it through vendorship. So it was all about passion that led me to where I am, where now we have like almost 30 team members. It all started with my couch corner. I was never in business school. So you have to take calculated risks. You
Yeah.
cannot become an entrepreneur. You cannot get into a tech industry without always being careful, right? You have to take calculated risks as well. So it's okay to take risks. It's okay to be faltered from your path, because
Yes.
every failure is a lesson that you've learned, and you're going to use that as a learned lesson to improve yourself. So you cannot. So the second point I would like to say is like not to give up. I think I always put it out in the universe that universe has, unless you know your own purpose and universe align with the universe, you're in the right place. So, but then universe try to
Yes.
bring you back with those messages, and you have to capture those messages and say, yeah, like, this is what I want to do. And doesn't have to be a set norm that this is what the society usually does. It doesn't have to be. It can pave your own path and not give up.
Vivian Beth. That is so profound. Thank you
Thank
for that. I
you.
think there's a couple of people that's going to write those down, and I think the next thing that everybody would like to know is how do they get hold of you guys? Where can they find
Definitely.
you?
Yeah, definitely. They can always visit us on our website. Our website is Vendorship, vendorship.net, N-E-T, vendorship.net. They can always reach us at 404-982-4070. They can also email us at info at vendorship.net. So
.net.
we are headquartered in Alpharetta, Georgia. So if they go to our website, they can also visit our website address and visit us in person. But the best way is they can also go to our website and fill up the contact form, and we will be
And
contacting them
obviously
back.
you guys will take it up from your end.
Yes,
Nazeera, thank you very much for hopping on today. Valuable insights. I can understand why your company is doing so well. There's so much good value that you guys bring. Thank you for the time, and all the best to you and your company going forward. And may you guys just grow from strength to strength. Thank you.
I want to thank you, Trey, and I want to thank Grow IT and for this opportunity that you've given me and the company as well.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you, you too.